This video is going to be very long. Hello everyone, I'm here back talking about music again. If you came to my channel because of Hollis or Talk, please stay put on this video and on what is going to come, because I said not a long time ago that I was not sure that I would be able to make videos about Hollis or Talk or about music, because I didn't have enough material, and also as Hollis passed away, I didn't want my channel to be a channel where we talk only about things sad. I mean, it was sad for me, so that's why I was saying that. But in the meantime, things have changed. It took a very strange turn, and I think that you will get a lot of more musical videos now, from now on, at least for a while. So I think that it's good, so please stay put. And if you are subscribed already, thank you for that. If you are not, please subscribe, subscribe and click on the bell, so you will be alerted every time I'm doing a new video about music. For the people who came to my channel because of the decluttering, the zero waste, arts and crafts, any other subjects, I don't plan to stop doing that. Actually, I was considering really doing that for real and seriously, but things happen and I kind of fell in love with the new music. So when I say new music, I mean new to me, recent music, I should say. So suddenly I'm in this thing, completely turned upside down my channel. I probably will have at a point to do an update about my channel, because I really must think about it and see how I'm going to make the thing work. It was completely unexpected. I didn't expect something like that to happen. And it's not going to be the only video on the subject. It's just my first impression after having listened to a music that I didn't know, that I discovered like 1 week ago. And that made me realize a lot of things about music, about my journey in music, about my life somehow, well, my musical spiritual life more exactly. Anyway, so I will start, otherwise we will never start. So I need to explain to you why I arrived to Derde Verde, how it happened. If you already watched my last video, you know how it happened, but now I'm going to explain to you why I'm doing this video about them, and how did I arrive to talk about a band where the members are very young, a band who is from now, I mean who is not from the past, from now. They are working now, they are creating now. And why I arrived there after having been a Hollis and Talk guru, as someone called me. That was so flattering. Someone wrote this comment saying, "You are the Hollis and Talk guru," and I felt really very flattered. But no, I'm not the guru. I'm just someone who loves their music and who really love Hollis music, and who really loved the person also, because it's so much generosity that he gave in his music to all of us. So he was a very inspiring person to me, in my art, in my way of working, in my way of creating, in my way of, I'm sorry, there is a lot of noise outside, in my way of being more picky about what I choose, what I do, how I work. I learned a lot from him, but suddenly I arrive on a band who is not Talk. The singer is not Hollis. Well, no, he's not. Why? How and why? So I'm not going to tell you the whole story of my life, because otherwise the video will never end, and I don't think that you are interested in that. And anyway, I'm not sure that it's very interesting in general. In 1996, I started painting around the Doors, Jim Morrison and the Doors. I mean fine art on canvas, mostly oil paint. I painted so much that it was enough to make an exhibition, and I exhibited in several places in Paris, but also in Germany, Netherlands, Belgium. I was in a festival of art there. I continued like that, painting about the Doors during a while, and then I mixed about the Doors and about the Who, mostly Keith Moon, because I was fascinated by his way of playing drums, which is a kind of very special. But I was, yeah, and I was learning playing drums then. That's why I was interested in Keith Moon. Or the contrary, I don't remember how it started anyway. And then I was still painting about the Doors, Keith Moon and the Who, but I started listening to some Red Hot Chili Peppers. So the Red Hot Chili Peppers, they don't create images to my mind to paint about them or their lyrics, but their music is very typical of Los Angeles, because they are from Los Angeles, and is very typical of what I call the California sound, but the not California from San Francisco, which is quite different, more Los Angeles. And I wanted so bad to live in Los Angeles then, that by listening to the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I had the feeling to be in LA when I was in Paris. That is all what I have of the Chili Peppers. And I also have Stadium Arcadium that I couldn't find, but it's somewhere in my house. Oh, I saw them on stage at Bercy. It's a huge place where they played. I saw them in, I think it was 2004 or 5, no, 4. It was great. It was great. Honestly, when I saw Derde Verde play a tribute last week, honestly, for me, it was a better concert than the Chili Peppers at Bercy. But it's not the same thing. We cannot compare. It's different. So, because of a marriage problem, I couldn't paint anymore. Then my son, my younger son, and I, we left to LA, and we arrived here, and we had to build everything. We arrived here, it was a dump. My son built his studio here. So then happened what happened regarding Tok and Hollis. I explained everything in a previous video that you will find. My video, I will put the link. Thanks to Hollis, I was able to paint again, and I started painting about Hollis. He gave me life again somehow. He gave me my artistic life again. But also I started my videos about Tok and Hollis. At the beginning I had so much material, so much to say, but at a point it was not so much anymore because I didn't have enough material. I was hoping that my videos will encourage him to come back. I know it's very naive of me. I really was hoping that, but then at a point I didn't have enough material. I didn't want to repeat myself all the time, and I was really hoping that he would do something, or that something would happen, and that I could talk about him and his music again. And unfortunately it didn't come. So at a point my channel was running. I still had to make it work, and I wanted to find other subjects which were interesting me, like decluttering, like zero waste, like ecology, like arts and craft, like art, like vlogs about Los Angeles, things which were making me happy, but which were really not related to music. But I really had to find a subject. You have to be motivated to do a video. So then my father died. Then my friend Ron Kane, who was coming very often to my shop and who that I've known forever. He was a very old friend of mine. I knew him much before I even lived here. So Ron died. Then I was considering doing a video about the Virgins that I like. It's a band also. They don't exist anymore, but they are very young. They are kind of recent. They were interesting me, just I like their music, not all of it, but a big part of it. But I didn't like so much their spirit. I was about to do this video. I was playing drums again in my son's studio, but then he moved his studio from here. So the studio was empty, no more drums, couldn't play anymore. Anyway, you know, it's my fault, because if I really wanted to play drums, I can find a way to, I don't know, to save some money and to buy a drum set. Well, I was not in a very right place at that point. And then Hollis died. Many things happening one after the other started making me questioning all my musical journey. I thought at a point maybe music is not in the cards for me. Maybe I should go somewhere else. And I thought, okay, I'm going to really embrace the idea of doing something else on my channel and talking about something else than music, and maybe it will be happier. You know, the subjects I was choosing, it was making me happy. I wanted to be in a happy place, and I wanted to do things useful to you also, and to me, because in the same time I was decluttering my house. I mean, I really need to do it. That didn't change. I still need to do it. And also the studio, which was empty, which was like a hole of depression. I wanted to fill it with something happy, to talk about simple things which don't hurt. But every time I was preparing a video about something else, so the video about the Virgins, I forgot. Not that I forgot, I decided not to do it because I was so down. Every time I was preparing a video about something else, always something was happening, bringing me back to Hollis. And then this tribute, which appears on my computer just like that, it's screaming, go, 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 and I go. And then, the light after the darkness, because the tribute was extraordinary. If you want to see it, go back to my last video and you will see it. But chiefly I discovered a band. They have their own music and it is awesome. I would say I'm almost in the same state of mind as I was when I was starting listening to Talk again. I was very excited. I'm exactly like that again right now with Derde Verde. So why people who love Hollis and Talk should follow Derde Verde? I'm going to explain to you that, and that's when we start talking about music, which excites me the most. Derde Verde is not Talk. It's a different band. They really create their own music, which is different from Talk, which is different from Hollis too. But there is some Talk in it. I would say chiefly laughingstock. There is something else, which is much more important actually. Hollis was known to explore and to be like a searcher in music. He was experimenting, trying new things, by being inspired by what he loved in music, but still he managed to create something which is very unique. I see the same thing in Derde Verde, so yes, that's huge. I can see that they are exploring, searching, testing, experimenting. They are very inspired by very good musics, but they managed to create their own style. They created a concept which is unique to them. So them who are them. So there is Dylan, I talked about already before in my previous video. So Dylan writes the lyrics, create the melody. So basically he makes what we call the skeleton of the song. Then Jonathan, the bass player, they create together the song. and they do the arrangements. Then come other musicians. Actually, they have two drummers. Sometimes the drummer is Matthias and sometimes the drummer is Andrew. They have another guitar who comes sometimes, and his name is Ivan. So they released already three albums, and they are about to release a fourth one. So I'm following that, and of course I will keep you posted. Next week, on June 12th, so in a few days, they are going to do a performance at the same bar, and they will play mostly new songs from their new album. So I plan to film that as well. So if you have followed me about all the Mark Hollis and Tok Tok videos, you probably remember that I was saying that Tok Tok and Mark Hollis were creating images for me, and that I could paint and that I could see images. There are not a lot of artists. There are a lot of music that I like or I love, but it doesn't mean that automatically I see images. So Mark Hollis and Tok Tok, they were. And also I was saying that Mark Hollis' music was very warm and loving and comforting, and that I was feeling surrounded by this music and I was feeling good. About Derde Verde, they are creating images also, which is exceptional because really there are not a lot of bands who create images for me. To paint, I mean. And I'm not going to say that it's a warm and comforting music. I wouldn't define it like that. It is more like a very poetic journey, like if they were taking your hand and they take you in this poetic journey, and once you are in it, you cannot get out. You don't know how to get out of that. You are completely immersed in their music. That's what I feel. That's how I feel. And chiefly listen to their music several times, because at the beginning I was seeing that by a certain way, and more I was listening to the music, more I was seeing it by a different way. And I would say every time I listen to a song, I discover something new, because there are layers and layers and layers of music which give you always the same impression, but deeper and deeper and deeper. Also, when you listen to their music, listen the songs until the end, because it's a very shifting music. So each song is basically 5 songs. I mean, you come from one thing to another, to another, to another, and at the end, you think the song is over. No, listen until the end, until it stops, until the next song starts, because at the end, otherwise you are going to miss something, and sometimes the end is even better than the beginning. So you must listen to it really deeply. I've been listening to this music during 1 week, non-stop, all the time, all the time, all the time, except when I was listening to other musics to make a comparison with their music. So I've been listening to their music in my home, in my shop, while working, while cooking, while walking to the post office with my plugs in the ears. That was, wow, that was an amazing experience. And I tried to sleep on it last night. I tried to see if I could fall asleep and listen to it in the same time. And no, I cannot sleep on it, because when I listen to it, it keeps me awake so much. I'm listening too much to the music to be able to sleep. I'm possessed with Mark Hollis and Tok Tok. Yes, it gives me the same impression of being completely possessed by the music, and that I can get out of it. So now I'm going to talk about the influences. I read in articles and also on their website, they were talking about the influences. So an article were talking about Sonic, Yola, Tango, Spoon. I'm sorry, I don't know these people. Obviously not my generation. I'm an old lady, sorry. So I cannot know everything. Then I think it's on their website, it was written Neil Young, Nick Drake, Elliott Smith, Mark Kazelek, Kraftwerk, I don't know. If we say like German, we say Kraftwerk. My Bloody Valentine. So yes, for Elliott Smith, Mark Kozelek, and My Bloody Valentine, I confirm. I didn't know these people really well, except maybe for My Bloody Valentine, because my son was playing that in my car when he was still living with me. Neil Young probably, because, yes, so Neil Young, you remember during the tribute, if you watched it, there was this guy, Dylan Roderick, who was playing with an electrical guitar and singing alone, It's My Life and the Party's Over. So he has an album, he made an album by himself. I mean, not with Dylan Mackenzie. If you like Neil Young, you should go to listen to that, because my friend David Schroeder told me that he was really playing guitar like Neil Young. So you may like this kind of music, so go to check. I will write the link also. It's interesting. I like the album too, but right now I'm focused on Derde Verde. Now I'm going to tell you the influences that I feel. It's what I hear with my ears, with my knowledge, with my history, with my age, with what I like. So, of course, talk. Mostly laughing stock, I think, but not only. Yes. 100% sure. Then there is the Doors. So if someone tells me that there is nothing of the Doors in this music, I won't believe it. There is the Doors, and I will show you why and how. Then there is the Who. Oh yeah, yeah, the Who at their beginning, the nice period. The Who, there is a lot of nice periods with the Who. Then Can, Tago Mago. Oh yeah. Nobody is going to tell me that it's not true. Anyway, they are talking about Can on their website, but I could hear it before reading it. It is so obvious. So yes. When I say influences, I'm not saying that they are copying. I say that it came in the creation and they created something new from that, because it's a mix of all these things. Then, so that is very me, and I will explain a little later why. There is a little bit of the Red Hot Chili Peppers in this music. So according to me, I may be wrong. Maybe they didn't do it purposely. The way the voices are treated make me think of Astrid Gilberto, so I'm absolutely sure that they didn't think about that. It was very typical of the 60s, the way the voices are treated, and we could find that with Astrid Gilberto, who was I don't know if she still exists, but anyway, she was a bossa nova Brazilian singer. Sometimes their way of doing the voices made me think of Astrid Gilberto, but that's me. And then I'm going to say another name that you probably don't know, because it's a French singer, and even if he lives in Los Angeles, of course, he's mostly known in France. His name is Michel Polnareff, and in one song, in Tower, at a point, Dylan is singing on a small part. I right away thought about Michel Polnareff. Influences, I thought also other things came to my mind, like for example Led Zeppelin, for example the album Led Zeppelin, but except that Led Zeppelin is probably more blues. Derde Verde it's not blues. By the same way, Red Hot Chili Peppers, they are funky. There is no funk in Derde Verde. It's something else. I also thought about Deep Purple. Deep Purple came to my mind by listening to their music. So I really loved Deep Purple when I was very young. Machine Head, for example. Smoke on the Water. This album, this period, there is something, I cannot tell you exactly what, but I think it's more in the ambience. Or also, go to check a song, Free, All Right Now. Free, all right now, baby, it's all right now. Especially the version at the Isle of Wight festival in 1970. It was when Jimi Hendrix played for the last time. I will put the link. Go to listen to it. You will understand what I hear in this music, in Derde Verde, with the background that I have. I have all this background. I have all this knowledge I created when I was a child by listening to this music. And suddenly I get it in the face now with young people. They create something that I could have heard then. How do they do that? How do they have this knowledge? They were not there when it happened. So of course now they can listen to it now, but they don't have the ambience, the feeling that we had then, because it was an exceptional period. It was extraordinary. I'm so glad that I lived that period in music. End of 60s, beginning of 70s. Now I'm going to talk about 4 songs, and I will continue in other videos after that. I will start with Shattered Moon. So Shattered Moon, there are 2 versions. There are the studio, there is even a clip. They made a clip video about it that I really like. There is also a version live, acoustic. I'm wondering if I don't prefer the acoustic version rather than the clip. Things are not the same. I don't know if you heard, but the guitars in this song reminds me the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So I'm going to explain to you why. Constellations have been rearranged. The Red Hot Chili Peppers, mostly it was John Frusciante, I don't know if you pronounce like that, who was playing the guitar. There was Navarro also, but mostly it was John Frusciante. Who was playing the guitar, and he has a way to play the guitar like if he was making the guitar sing. The guitar is as present as the voice, as important. And here in this song, it's exactly that. So my first impression was like, wow, John Frusciante in the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So I'm not saying that they play exactly by the same way. I don't know, I'm not a professional of the guitar. I'm delivering here the feelings that I receive. Why I like the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Because they really remind me Los Angeles. And it is a very typical Los Angeles sound, and they have it. They have the Los Angeles sound, which is strange because they don't all come from Los Angeles, but it means nothing because my son was playing, he plays guitar, my son. My son was playing by a certain way when we were in Paris. He arrived here, he started composing, doing music with Fake Furs and his friend, and at a point he was creating, I could hear in his compositions, in his creations, the Los Angeles sound. And I thought, how something like that is possible, because he's not American, he's not from Los Angeles. I don't know. You know, in the Gilmore Girls, there is a scene, Gilmore Girls, I recommend. It's a TV show, probably the smartest TV show I have ever seen. Anyway, in the Gilmore Girls, there is this character, Zach, who says, I got to find the sound, I got to find the sound. When you go to California, it changes you. You never come back. And the 2 things are true. A musician has to find the sound. They found their sound. Derde Verde found their sound. When you go to California, it changes you. You never come back. That is true too. Fortunately, they are in Los Angeles. I am in Los Angeles. They found the sound. You know, when I was in Paris and I was dreaming of going to live in Los Angeles, it's what I was hearing in my mind, this kind of music. And here it is. I hear it. It's exactly that. I love this song. Constellations have been rearranged. First, I find the lyrics so beautiful and so poetic. There is a lot of poetry in their music and in their lyrics. The constellations have been rearranged. So a little anecdote, I was working on my computer because I'm selling stuff online, and I was doing a listing. And at a point, I was doing the description of the object that I was about to sell. And instead of writing something about the object, while he was saying the lyrics, I wrote them on my listing. It made me laugh because I thought, really, obviously, I'm not focused enough on my work. I'm focused on the music. That is becoming a true problem. It is so delicate. Delicate is the word. Delicate, poetic, deep. I've been running for so long. Now I'm ready to fall. I'm ready to fall. And I've been hiding from my thoughts, so I buried them all. I buried them all. And it's a long way down now. And it's a long way down. So these lyrics, they touch me. You know why? Because I could have said that a few years ago, and not only a few years ago actually. I could have said that myself, because that is a feeling that I perfectly know very well. It really touches me when I read things like that, and it makes me say, these lyrics are sincere. They are sincere, they come from the heart, because only someone who knew that, or who knows someone who knew that, can write that. It reminds me of these lyrics of Ready to Fall. You know the song by The Doors, Been Down So Long. Well, I've been down so goddamn long that it looks like up to me. Oh my God, this song, I remember the last time that I heard it, I was in the metro in Paris, and a guy, it was in the worst time for me. So when I heard this guy in the metro playing and singing this song, I thought it's so appropriate. It's exactly what I'm feeling right now. So now I'm going to talk about another song. It's I Still Want Someone. So that is the first song that I listened to. I made a video a long time ago. I will write you the link. I made a video about the link between the Talk music, Hollis music, and The Doors. And I talked about the similarities that there were in Runeii and The End. It's the intention. I'm not saying that the two songs are the same. It's just that I think that Hollis wanted to do something related to The End by The Doors by doing Runeii. And I can hear it. And now we have a third version, which is the Derde Verde version. And it's very interesting because each song relates to the personality of the artist. The End is very, very Jim Morrison-like. It's very into his poetry and his character, his personality. It's very related to Jim Morrison. Runeii is in the same spirit, but is very related to Hollis. And this song is in the same spirit, but very related to Derde Verde, and I would say to the two people, Jonathan and Dylan. I find that very interesting. You know, it reminds me when artists in fine art, they paint the same thing, but they are not copying, like for example Picasso trying to do something like Miro, or like Braque, or Braque then doing something like Picasso, and then they are trying again, and you know, they exchange things which are basically the same, but each artist makes it like his own personality, with his own personality. Here it's exactly the same. We have three songs, three different songs made in the same spirit. They don't look alike, but there is something together with the three of them, and each of them reflects the personality of the creator. I think it's amazing. There is a treasure there. It's a treasure of music that we have here, and we are here to experience it and to live it. We have the luck to have these people living at the same time as we do, and we have the possibility to witness this creation. It's amazing. So now I'm going to talk about the third song, which is actually an instrumental. There is no voice. Well, no, the singer is not singing, but there are voices treated like sounds. The name is Clutch. I love it. Usually I don't like instrumentals most of the time, but this one is, I could listen to that the whole day. So before we continue, that is Can, Tago Mago, 100%. Go check Tago Mago. I did a video, I can write the link for you. I discovered Can thanks to Hollis. I absolutely love that album, Tago Mago. Tago Mago is really probably one of my favorite albums. So I don't know if you heard, but we can hear a lot the bass line, and I don't know why I really like when the bass line is forward. I have something with the bass line. For example, I give you an example. XX, the song Crystallized. If you listen at the beginning of the song, we hear really well the bass, and I love that. And actually in Gossip Girl, the TV show, in a scene they are playing this song Crystallized, they only put the track with the bass. I love that. I don't know why. And here I like the fact that we can hear the bass really loud and clear. Also, if you go for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, to the album One Hot Minute, there is a song named P, where I don't know if it's Flea or if it's Anthony Kiddis, who sings just with the bass. I'm a little pea, and I don't know why. While painting, I was obsessing over this song, which has just one voice and one bass. And I love that. Pay attention to the bass on this song. It's really good. That's very hard to do. I don't know if they did these claps organically, I mean by an analogic way, I mean them playing in front of the microphone, or if they made it slower and then put it at the right speed, or if they just did one or two or three, I don't know, claps, sampled the sound and did it as they wanted. I would love to know that. The creation in studio, it's something fascinating. You know, the sounds in this song so make me think of, I'm going to tell you a little story. When I was starting my videos on YouTube about Hollis and Talk, I was looking at the analytics because I wanted to know who was my audience, where they were coming from, what kind of videos they like, if they were rather men or women, if they were more interested in music or rather in craft. All these things, you know, they could also tell you the age and things like that. We don't have access to that anymore because you have to be a very big YouTuber to have all this information now. But at the beginning, I could have that. So I was checking my analytics, and one day someone arrived to my videos, one of my videos, and he or she, but I suppose it was a he, was coming from a video where there were only sounds like that, like it was like in a factory and someone was walking in the factory and we could hear the noises of the machines, of doors, the doors making a noise when you were opening the doors, and it was very metallic sounds. And I was fascinated by this video, and I can't find it anymore. I'm so upset about that because I loved this video, and chiefly I was so flattered to think that someone who was watching that then went to my video, because we could see from which video the person was coming from. Someone who is interested in sounds like that suddenly says, oh, if I was checking Yael's video. I felt so fascinated, flattered, and during months I was watching this video. I can't find it anymore. I'm wondering if it has been removed from YouTube. So there are obviously animals making noises. I was listening to this song with that my son, my older son, bought that for me, and I think I'm so grateful because that is genius. So I was listening that really loud and by working, and my cat was sitting just beside my computer, and suddenly he heard that and he ran away. He was scared by the song. I found that so funny. And when you think it's over, it's not over. Do you hear the voices? I don't know if you heard. You must go and check on this song, instrumental song. You must check that because it's really something, and play it loud enough to hear all the details, all the sounds which are in this track. It's really amazing.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, now we are going to talk about a song named Tower, which was one of the first ones that I listened to. I absolutely love this song. So according to me, they made an incredible performance with this song, because it's, for me, it's the essence. It's the essence of the 60s, 70s, of the kind of music that I was listening to when I was a very small child. I love this kind of music. It's, according to me, very psychedelic. Let's listen to it. Just the guitar. For me, that is typically 60s, 70s psychedelic guitars. Not Jimi Hendrix, their style, their way of playing. I love that. The drums in general are very clean and sometimes trashy in the same time. Clean and trashy. Interesting concept. You are not going to find the way of Keith Moon playing, or you're not going to find the way of Chad Smith playing. No, I don't think. It's very simple. Doesn't seem very complicated to me, but in the same time it's very into this style, the psychedelic style, 60s, 70s style. It's not an imitation. They managed to do something authentic, which is really exceptional. Did you hear that? They changed the place where the accent is. I was very confused at the beginning. It made me think, I think it's Watershed in the Marcoli solo album, where the I don't know how we say in English, the strongest note, where the beat is, it's changing. So I was very confused. Listen to that. Temps contre temps. I will try to find the translation and I will write it, because I can explain it in French, but it's very difficult for me to explain it in English. So that, the guitars, that, makes me think of something that I think it's The Doors. I'm not sure, but I will come back on these songs. I told you it's my first impression. I'm just delivering a little of like samples of what I heard, but there is so much to say more. For example, songs like Unnoticed, like Mirror, like Sunshine, Staring in a Dying Light. So many songs which are amazingly done that I can't stop listening to them. It's like if I'm addicted, I'm under influence, I don't know. What do they do in their music to put me in this position? You see how we go from one theme to the other to the other. It's shifting all the time. You don't know anymore where you are. You don't know your name anymore. Always listen until the end. So for me, that is what we call a chef-d'oeuvre, a masterpiece. I will talk about it in another video, but the song Unnoticed, it's a monument. I was listening to that by coming back from the post office, and I was about to go to Target again, and I was with my plugs in my ears listening to that, and just when I arrived in Target, a notice started, and the beginning is, I will talk about it in another video, and at a point I was frozen. I was in the middle of this alley inside Target, you know, the main alley where people are walking and it goes to different directions. And I was with my cart frozen, listening to the music like that, like and a woman, someone working at Target, at a point came to me and asked if I was okay, if everything was fine. I said, yeah. But, you know, I didn't realize that I was, actually I got, the song is Unnoticed, but I got noticed. I didn't realize that I was disturbing. People couldn't pass. I was in the middle, like frozen by the music. Something like that never happened to me before. This music has a lot of effect on me. I wouldn't take the time to do videos about this band and about this music if I didn't believe in it. I really think that the world needs to hear that, to acknowledge that, and to follow this band. When something is genius, it has to be shown. And really, I think that here there is something genius. So they are still young. They probably will change and evolve like any artist, of course. But they started really well already. I mean, seriously, wow. Right now, I cannot not talk about that. I see Dylan like a spiritual Hollis son. That's how I see him. I hope you will follow me in that. I hope you will appreciate. Any input from you will be welcome. If you have any comments, please do, and I will answer as soon as I can. For the people who came to my channel because of the other subjects, I'm sorry, but I must figure it out right now because that was unexpected and it has to be. So I see you very soon in my next one. I really hope that you will love them as much as I do. I see you very soon. Bye.